Welcome guys to Ford Muscle's latest project car. It's a 2018 Mustang GT. We're about to head out to Verona to go ahead and do our baseline testing. To do that, we got a set of these RC Components wheels and Mickey Thompson drag radials. Here's just a close-up look at these Mickey Thompson drag radials. You can see these are just the ET Street SS's. They have stickier tires, but for what we were doing for the stock power level, I think these will be perfectly fine. Now these are a 275/40/17, as you can see up there. The wheels are absolutely beautiful. These are RC's Street King wheels. They are designed to be driven on the street, as the name implies. They're for street cars, like bolt-on cars, just like this one. So really this is an ideal setup for a street car. I also wanted to show you the skinnies here. These both front and rear are 17s. That's about the smallest that you can go with the stock brakes. These ET Street fronts, they have the exact same diameter as the rears, which is key to make your ABS system happy. You can see 26/6, that's the size. Again, mounted on 17-inch wheels. These are also a radial, as you should note. That is the most optimum thing, is to have, you're going to have radials in the rear, you should have radial front tires. That keeps it even, keeps the car handling well. Obviously, if you have slicks, you can have a bias ply front too, if you like. But for the 17s, this is really a great wheel and tire combo, and we're excited to test these out for baseline testing. By the way, these lug nuts are awesome. Well, here we are. Both wheels and tires are on. You can see, struggled with this front guy a little bit here. I had a stripped lug nut, but alas, victory was mine. I removed them, and now here we are. We are ready to head to Verona. So I am en route to Verona drag strip. Got the wheels and tires on, ready to go. Car drives great with them on. No issues there. The radials, they drive nice on the highway. No issues with the wheels. The wheels fit great. You know, everything mounted and balanced up great. No issues there. Really, the only issue I had was getting I had a very stubborn lug nut. Apparently the local tire shop buggered one of the lug nuts. But you know, it hit the socket on with a big hammer, and eventually it came off. I was victorious. That felt good eventually. But anyways, here we are on the road. So just a little ways to go here down the road, and we'll be there. Then we can let it cool off, air down the rear tires a little bit, and make our first pass. So it was pretty dark. I wasn't able to get a lot of video at the track, unfortunately. So I wanted to kind of just give you guys a recap of how things went. First of all, the car drove really well to Verona. If you guys haven't been there, once you get off the highway, it's a lot of twists and turns through the mountains. But on the radials, the car car actually handles pretty well, despite being on bigs and littles. The rears, this is the ET Street SS, so it actually does have a little bit of tread to it, unlike like an ET Street Pro radial or something like that. But even those, I found they do okay on the street as long as it's not raining, obviously. So anyways, without further ado, let me go through kind of how we started out the night. I started on 30 PSI. I was driving at about 35, 36, and I aired it down 5 PSI to hit 30 just for the first couple passes while I feel it out. Usually the track's pretty sticky. It was 75 during the day, but by that time at night, it was already about 60 degrees when we made our first hit right at sundown. And then it kind of got colder from there. It was probably low 50s, high 40s by the end of the night by the time I left. So just to give you a frame of reference. So I started out, like I said, at 30 PSI. First pass, the car went a 210, 60 foot on its way to an 834 at 91 miles per hour in the 8th. Again, this thing is bone stock, no mods aside from the wheels and tires. Next pass, another back-to-back 210 at 8 and on the way to 832 at 90 miles per hour. So this car is basically running like a bracket car. For both of those launches, I basically just tried to stall it up a little bit, probably about 2,000 RPM, and then kind of rolled into it. And both times you can see very consistent, did what it was going to do. I stalled it up on the third pass. I stalled it up as high as it would go before I felt like it was going to start to push through, and then I just stomped it, and it went a 199 with just a tiny little bit of spin. And on that pass, it went 826 at 89 miles per hour. I did cool it off about 20-30 minutes, but you can see the heat kind of did affect the mile per hour a little bit there. And then I kind of came back around. That was the pattern I did. I would make one hit, come back around, make another one, then let it cool off for about 20-30 minutes. So then on the fourth hit, I tried just flashing it. So I left it idle, but I just stomped it hard and fast. And it went a 201 that time, so just a little bit slower in the 60 foot on the way to an 826 at 89. So basically the exact same time, just a tad bit slower in the 60 foot. Stalled it up literally as high as it could go, and it did want to start to push through a little bit, and I went in 199 again, and then I went in 819.90. So you could see that 30-minute cool off time. The engine was a little bit cooler. That definitely helped on the top end with that identical 60 foot. And then on the back-to-back pass, I did push through the beams this time. I tried to get even more aggressive on the launch, and it was just starting to roll through the beams. So either I need better brakes, or I don't know. This car does not have, because it's not a performance pack, I guess, it does not have it has a line lock, which I used for the burnout, but I did not have a trans brake on it. So it is what it is. That said, car went to 214, like I said, rolling through the beams on the way to an 839 at 91. The next pass, again, just tried to stall it as high as it would go, and without rolling through. That was still a challenge. I don't know, maybe front brakes might help, better front brakes might help, I don't know. I went a 203. Again, that was just starting to kind of roll through a little bit, and on the way to an 826 at 90. And then the final pass, I came back around and just the same thing, just tried to stall it up as high as it was go. I don't think I quite rolled this one, and I went a 199 and then eventually went my fastest pass, which was an 8:19. Actually, it was an identical to 2 runs ago. 8:19 at 90. The mile per hour is just slightly higher than the last pass. So 8:19 is all she rode. 199 is all she rode. Unless I can leave harder, there's no way for this car to go any faster. It's dead consistent. You know, I think maybe suspension, maybe we can leave a little harder that way. Not sure. Trans brake really would be nice. Maybe front brakes would be nice so that it'll hold on the line a little bit better. Or rear, actually both front and rear brakes might be nice. So those are a couple of things we'll be exploring. I know we've got a bunch of suspension mods planned for it. We're going to try and see how fast we can go as a bolt-on car as a kind of basically stock car before we throw some boost at it. That is what we have in our plans, as you'll see here in the intro article. Well, without further ado, guys, I'll catch you next time.